Hey, you guys. So good to be with you guys today. I just wanted to hop on and have a chat with you about just a few things that I've been seeing, and I didn't want to wait to get this information out to you much longer because I'm seeing every day there's just some news that is pretty upsetting to me, and I know that you guys are not going to be too happy to hear it either. So just yesterday, I was talking to a studio owner up north in New Jersey, actually, and she was telling me that her opening date has gotten pushed back because of the increase in cases. I also have heard of a studio down here in Florida, actually more than one, that has had to close because of the increase in cases. So I wanted to just get on here, you guys, and talk about what I'm seeing and what this might mean for your business. So if we haven't met before, I'm Sarah and I am the founder of Spring 3, and I work with studio owners on their business marketing and strategies. And I have been helping quite a few studio owners over the course of the last few months inside of my program, The Inner Circle, where I do weekly Q&As to answer all the questions that studio owners have about how to navigate this uncertain time. And I've been putting together a bunch of resources specifically for those really awesome studio owners in there. And this is a part of the conversation that I've been having with them on an ongoing basis. Some of these things that I want to share with you today are things that we've been talking about a lot inside the Inner Circle. And, like I said, I have started to see some studios have to close, or their opening dates get pushed back a little bit, which obviously is really troubling, really concerning, and not exactly the news that we were hoping to get right now. So, I think it's always helpful when you're trying to plan for the future and the future is so uncertain, is to think about the different scenarios that might come up, the different scenarios that you might have to navigate. And I think right now, we're in a position where we can kind of start to predict, because we've been through so much already. We can begin to predict how things could look, right? So depending on where you are in the country, and even depending on where you are in the world, you may have already been in a position where you have opened up, right? So you've opened up, you have gone through all of those steps of implementing the additional cleaning protocols, of getting your teachers back into the studio, of communicating with your clients about what your schedule might look like. And you're probably at the point where perhaps perhaps you're at capacity for the inside studio. Perhaps you're seeing some clients come back and not others. I really have heard very different stories from different people, and I know I kind of have a theory as to why, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Or you're in scenario two. Scenario two, I would say, is where you are really in a position where you are, or in a place where you are very concerned that you might have to close again. So you've reopened, and you're very nervous about what might happen next. And some studios in some states are beginning to revisit lockdown again in certain ways. We're not sure exactly what that's going to look like, but I think that there might be a scenario whereby fitness studios may have to close again. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I do want you to be prepared if that's the case. Scenario three is the scenario where you are still closed and you are doing your virtual, and you are hoping to open soon, but you don't have a date, or perhaps you have a date and it's upcoming, but it may be getting pushed back. And then scenario four is a scenario that we're just starting to see happen right now, which is you are open and you had to already close because of a resurgence in cases, perhaps because of an outbreak in your studio, or I hope not, but I've heard of that happening, or because your local authorities have required you to close, okay? So as we're thinking about all these different scenarios, I think that we need to be prepared for each of them. And we kind of know, we kind of had a bit of a run through of this before. So this is not the first time that we're going to be figuring this next step out. But I think there are a few things that will really set you apart as we head into this next chapter of uncertainty, right? And the first thing is we want to make sure that you are in a really strong financial position, okay? So if you have been thinking about reviewing your pricing, and if you are an in-demand teacher and you can't fit all of your clients into the studio, then now is the time to perhaps revisit your pricing model and thinking about how you can perhaps restructure your pricing, change your pricing, increasing your pricing, that will give you some financial stability. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for stability and income. Okay, so if you are thinking about changing your pricing, now would be the time. Now, if you went virtual and you dropped your pricing significantly and you've not been happy with that and you've just been kind of waiting to open to change your pricing again, then I wouldn't wait any longer to make some of those shifts happen. Okay, changing your pricing is okay. We're in very uncertain times. There are ways to do it where it doesn't have to be a really scary thing for you or your clients. So, I would definitely review your pricing and your packages and your pricing structure as a whole. Okay, I'm not just talking about increasing pricing. I'm thinking about how you can package what you do in a way that makes sense for you and for your clients. Okay, the second thing is going to set you apart is communication. So this is a really, really big one. What I found was that for those that didn't do too well during that initial shutdown period, it almost always boiled down to their communication efforts. And I'm not just talking about communication with your clients, I'm also talking about communication with your team of teachers, okay? And it's not even just about the communication that you were doing during those couple of weeks where we were going into lockdown and you were scrambling to figure out how to get people to stick around and get online and go virtual. I'm talking about the communication that actually happened the 3 or the 6 months before that, and how engaged you were and how you were engaging your clients outside of your sessions. Okay. The other thing that was really, really obvious to me, the studios that did really well were very clear and very direct with their communications, with their emails, with what their clients needed to do, and they kind of had a plan, right? So as we step into what comes next, what we're thinking about might come down the pipeline towards us, I really want to encourage you to step into that role as a leader and to have a plan and to share that plan with your clients. Okay. The third thing you can do right now to prepare for what might be coming next is just to get really organized, okay? So that means that you want to make sure your website is doing exactly what you need it to do, that it's very clear on there that you offer both virtual and in studio classes if that's where you're at. You want to make sure that you have a schedule that's ready to go for virtual or in studio, depending on where you're at in that journey. And you want to make sure that you are preparing your team to take on more virtual sessions or to be able to pivot with you, okay? Getting organized now, I know it's that you're still kind of, some of you I know are still getting open, but getting really organized now and setting up some protocols and procedures and policies will help you for whatever changes and shifts happen down the road, because what we've seen is that things can change really, really quickly. Just in the space of a week, we've seen huge shifts already here in Florida, and I know that's happening in some other parts of the US as well. And the fourth big thing that you can be doing to prepare yourself for the next chapter is to continue to market your business, okay? Now is not the time to drop marketing efforts at all. Now is the time to really double down and continue to share your message loud and clear, what makes you special, what makes you unique. I want to see you be that pillar of hope, be that leader for your clients, for your team. And it was really those studios that were very consistent with the communications, who were very supportive of their clients all the way through those changes, that we're able to really retain them. Okay, so we want to make sure that you are actively engaging and nurturing your client relationships. And I know that some clients have dropped off your schedule, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be getting in touch with them. Okay, so continue to invite them back in, continue to try to keep that connection and that line of communication open with them as well. Okay, now if you know me, you know that I'm really not a pessimist. I'm actually a very, very optimistic person. But equally, I don't want you to be blindsided by another closure. So I really want you to be prepared. And as much as you might be finding your virtual sessions challenging at times, I would still heavily and strongly recommend that you keep them as part of your offerings right now, for the services that you offer right now, because first of all, many of your clients might not even feel comfortable coming back to the studio if you are able to open or you continue to be open. Okay, a lot of you have clients that fall into that high risk category, and we don't want to force them to do something that they're not comfortable with, and we want to give them an alternative that works for us too. So the virtual sessions are a great option. You will find that some of your clients also find those virtual sessions a ton more convenient, right? And for those clients who have found that, why not serve them with virtual sessions? It helps your business too, okay? So you'll find that some clients won't want to come back. You'll find that some clients find those online sessions really convenient as well. And then, perhaps more importantly, the reason to continue with those virtual workout sessions, those virtual privates and those virtual classes is because in the event of another closure, you won't have to miss a beat to get those people into your virtual classes and continuing with their sessions. You'll be able to do it so seamlessly without any sort of a break in their sort of routine, as it were. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're ready with your virtual schedules, and that you're ready with your website is ready to go with all of those booking options, that you have your pricing systems set up, and you want to make sure that you have got your marketing machine is continuing to run. You're still sending those emails. You're still reaching out to local businesses to find perhaps new client opportunities to reach new clients. And you really do want to double down on those marketing efforts right now. So I see that you guys have popped some questions. I love questions. So I'm going to answer a couple of them right now. And so Alison is from Rolology. I always have a hard time with that, Alison. I'm sorry. Rolology classes, and they are and they get $100 to $130 per 50-minute online session. Okay, that's pretty good for those privates, I'm assuming. You also and if you can get your clients to go online and you're thinking that you're able to deliver the same value as you do in your studio, then there's no reason to change your pricing or massively discount your pricing. I think that was something that one of those lessons that we really did learn the hard way the first time around. And so that's why I really encourage you to revisit those pricing at this point. And Julie mentioned here that there are 3 scenarios. One is at 50% capacity. The second is to add member options for larger classes, or 3 is another shutdown. How do we place value on virtual class options? When it comes to your virtual sessions, it really is all about the value that you place on it, what you see the value is for your clients for your online classes, right? And it's the way that you think about them and the way that you teach in them, and the way that you place value on them. Because if you don't value them, if you are going into this online business and this virtual teaching from a place of it's not enough, or it's not as good as, or it's not valuable enough for my clients, then that's gonna be the message that your clients are gonna hear from you through your marketing and through your marketing messaging. And so what I saw was a lot of people who struggled with the mindset around teaching online did struggle to retain their clients and to keep their clients inside of their virtual sessions. For those teachers who felt very confident in their ability to teach online and to still continue to help their clients get the results that they wanted, so feeling stronger, keeping them moving, keeping them active, and all of perhaps the other benefits that came in such a unique period of time, those teachers were able to retain their clients, and they really have had full schedules, and some teachers have even had to create duet private sessions and had to be very creative with other ways of building out their schedule, because they've just actually been quite overwhelmed with how many people they want to work out with them. So a lot of it comes down to the way that you are talking about those virtual sessions as well, and that obviously plays into where you're going to price them too. So there's a lot to dive into in that whole topic, and I would love to chat with you a little bit more about that. So if you do have any other questions, please pop them in the comments below, and I will for sure come back and answer them. And you can always find me over at spring3.com and send me an email with your questions, or you can dig around on the site over there for a ton of other articles with a lot of insight and tips and tactics that you can use to help you navigate this really uncertain time. Okay, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week, and we'll speak again soon.